Hello my fellow hunters and welcome to Monster Hunter Morph episode 90. This is the second part of the Prolonger breakdown analysis, including the uptime of the different file types. And in this video I'm going to make a DPS comparison of the different levels of Prolongers and their influence to different file types. First of all, if you didn't watch episode 89 of my Morph series, I recommend to watching this first, because you will get a huge in-depth information about the different uptimes, like you can see here in this chart. Also the ability of Prolonger, how much it buffs your, not your amped duration, but how it buffs the amped uptimes. It is a huge difference. The amped uptime and the amped duration are a lot different. Yes, so if you didn't watch, I recommend to watching this first. I already made here analysis and also explained a lot of my previous work about the skill, but I didn't want to go too much back. First of all, I'm using now other calculator. This is the updated calculator from Sash. I made a few mods here, especially for the hit zones. As you maybe already know, I'm always using 60 raw hit zone with 20 element hit zone, because that's the most common hit zone to work with. So this calculator looks a little bit different than the currently updated calculator from Sash, because I added here some extra stuff which isn't in the original calculator from Sash. I'm also explaining you what I've added or changed or what else. So what I'm starting first of all, I think I give you a short view about the weapon stats I've used for the analysis and the skills I've used. True raw is always 220 with 0% crit. On the elemental phial and all other phials except the power phial I used, on the power phial I used for element 20, and for the elemental phial I used 25, and also all for the status phial I used 25 as base value. Yes, I already talked about the hit zone. Stats are calculated with power charm, and also frenzy is cured with an uptime of 67% because of the 90 second cycle. You get the buff and 30 seconds time countdown where you're able to deal enough damage to get healed from the frenzy. Yes, about the skills already here. There I made also a few one little change. Weakness exploit level 3, uptime with 90%, maximum might level 3 with Fulgur Engine, base and Fulgur Engine with 85% uptime. Agitator now has 80% uptime. In my previous calculations I used the 50%, but I now increase it to 80% because a lot of users said it's better to increase it. 50% is unrealistic, so this is not the uptime by Dreaming Sunlight anymore, it's my own personal. First one of 80%, AI Warriors I already explained, and Counter-Strike is 100% uptime. Yes, I already added all these skills here with the uptime. I'm only using the first tab, second and third is a little bit bugged because the sharpness doesn't work there currently for whatever reason. So I'm only using the first tab. I don't know why, because I didn't program this calculator. So how to explain this? How I explain the amped uptime? So there are like two parts of the calculation. It is like this part, it is like the amped state. In the amped state you can make use of the full release loop combo, which giving you by far the most possible DPS, which is 154.6. If you're not amped, you will lose. You can only do the unbridled slash, but it's not that useful in the unamped state. There are also a lot of different combos, but if you're not amped, your goal should be to go fast amped as possible. And there it's more important to take focus on the attacks which gives your which fills your amp gauge. I don't know whether there's here a tab which shows you the amount of charge value you got. Just give me a second. Currently didn't found it here. Shop consumption, mount element status. I think there was like a tab, but I currently didn't found it back. If you're not amped, you shouldn't take focus on the moves which make the most DPS. You should take focus on the attacks which give you the most charge for amp meter. And I have two combos, therefore it is the Heaven Should Flurry charge. So you only press circle 2 times if I'm not wrong, and that gives you the Heavens Should Flurry charge with one single combo. This only works on fast charging phials like Exhaust Phial, Elemental Phial and Poison Phial. It doesn't work for the Power Phial because you need like 3 combos of this, of the Heaven's Flurry charge only, and it is not possible because you have to fill back your sword meter. And therefore for the Power Phial I'm using this combo. It is the Spiral Burst move if I'm not wrong. It is like forward slash, side slash, spiral burst into move rising, double slash, then triple slash, going to Heaven's Sword Flurry. If until this point you're not amped, going again further to right rising slash, double slash and Heaven's Sword Flurry. And this is for the Power Phial, the correct combo to get amped. So I'm using this combo, which I'm also showing you here. This is the fast charge combo, which is recommended, but I didn't calculate it separately. Yes, yeah, here you can check the combos which I used. Sword double slash, Heaven's Sword Flurry and Sword rising slash to get back to the first step. And this is a very like more than 16 different moves combo which I used. A lot of different moves which are very mostly used in the non-amped state. So you can check that out your own if you want on the calculator. I also drop a link maybe there. But I currently didn't want to start the game again to show you this combo. I think you know what I mean. It's just Spiral Burst with double slash, triple slash, Heaven's Sword Flurry. That's the main combo for the unamped state. Going back to the calculator. Yes, here. And let's for example use I also have added here different average stats of non-Artian weapons. Let's for example go to Power Phial because they are the most interesting ones with the most difference. I still have ABC here, that's from Sunbreak. It means like you're 100% of the time amped. And this is a multiplier. And for example for Power Phial it is, like I explained in the last video, with Prolonger 1 0.5, and for example if you change the switch X here to Elemental Phial, it is not 0.5 anymore, instead this is 0.72. So it always changed with the corresponding file type. Then going back, change back to average Power Phial. With the stats you can see here the DPS including the amped uptime. So this is the full release loop DPS. This is the most possible DPS you can get, but it is not realistic because you're not able to spam 100% of the fight full release loop. So as you can see, Power Prolonger level 0 you only have 117 DPS, and with Power Prolonger level 3 that's the most possible DPS is 140. So from Power Prolonger 0 to level 3 it is like 25 additional DPS. DPS, not too wrong, this is absolutely insane amount. I'm going to explain it a little bit better here in the different tabs. So that was the last tab we stopped. Yes, no Artian DPS influence of Power Prolonger. The stats I've used are based on the non-Artian final weapons. And yes, for this is a tab which I showed you explanation for the showed you with the how it's called with the Power Phial. and therefore you can see all the other DPS stats. I didn't really use any in-game weapons, just average stats, and there you can see the increase of the DPS. So you can see, for example, Phial has up to 140.5 DPS and Elemental 140.4, pretty similar, but as you can see, if you're using, regardless of the Phial type, Elemental or Phial, at Power Prolonger 0 and Power Prolonger level 1, the Elemental Phial is stronger than the Power Phial. Which means, if you're using a Power Phial, you always have to use entirely maxed out Power Phial. Otherwise, it will get out damaged easily by a Elemental Phial with no Power Prolonger or only one level of Power Prolonger. So this step explains a lot better. This is the DPS increase per skill level of Power Prolonger. And I think I can also make a little bit more large. Yes, so like you can see here, most important is Power Prolonger on the Power Phial, which gives you up to additional 20% of DPS, which is absolutely insane. Please take in consideration, if you're very good at countering monster attacks and other stuff, all this value will be a little bit lower. So Power Prolonger is not a DPS skill, it is like a, compensate a DPS loss skill. It's more like this in reversed. And yes. And like you can see, for Elemental Phial you didn't really have to max it entirely out, because from level 2 and 3 it is only like 2%, or 2.5% DPS increase, so I think most time level 1 is okay. For Power Phial you absolutely have to use maxed out. Also for Power Phial, I think level 2 or 3 is absolute minimum, and if you're using Dragon, Exhaust or Poison Phial, you didn't really need Power Prolonger. It is then absolutely necessary. Currently there are not stronger skills, because most other skills giving you a DPS increase of like 2% per skill level. So I would say you can use as much levels of Power Prolonger as you want. I also prepared a table here which shows you the DPS increase per level of Power Prolonger. And as you can see, by far the most efficiency on the Power Phial, which gives you up to 20% and is efficient on every single level. Like it is like 7% DPS increase per skill level, which is absolutely insane. If you check the weapon priority per weapon skills, you can see that most efficient is currently Handicraft with up to 2.5% more DPS per skill level, 2.5%. And for Power Prolonger it is like, for Power Phial, up to 7%. So it's absolutely insane skill for switch checks. And there's also all the other file types. You can see level 1 of Power Prolonger is very strong, and for the Forster files you not absolutely need that, because like you can see here, for Dragon Phial increase from Power Prolonger 1 to Power Prolonger 2 is 1.9%. In this case Handicraft is stronger than Power Prolonger. But Insight is still a very awesome skill. Yes, this is tab for you. Also on Power Phial, very strong. Yes, so this is the loss table. I'm going to talk about it. It is the loss of DPS. Like I previously explained, Power Prolonger isn't a DPS skill, it is like a compensation skill for DPS loss. And for example, this shows you, if you're playing without Power Prolonger, and you're having a Power Phial, you only have, you will lose 47.78% of your max potential. The max potential is the DPS when you're in the state where you end and you can do your full release slash. So like you can see in this tab, you will never be able to entirely reach 100% uptime, even if you have a very fast phial type. You will have to recharge that, even if that only is a one single combo, but also this one single combo will need like 10 seconds, and then you're back in the end state for 90 seconds again. So it's only like last 10% is the value you can't neglect. So yes, so like you can see, there's your very orange values, especially on the power phial and power phial, and like at Power Prolonger level 2 you'll only have like 10% DPS loss. But like you can see on the power phial, you have to absolutely go for the maxed out level to compete with the other phial types. This is also the last sheet I preferred. It explains it a little bit easier. It is the loss of amped DPS by level of Power Prolonger. So you can see how bad a power phial with Power Prolonger level 0 is. That's absolutely insane. You will lose like almost 50% of your damage output, which is absolutely crazy. Yeah, so that's insane. And like you can see here, the efficiency of Power Prolonger level 3, you didn't can get that efficient uptime with a power phial like with the other phial types. But power phials have that advantage that we have currently a raw based meta, and therefore they scale better than element. Also the FRS combo is like 90% or 95% raw damage and only 5% elemental damage, and that's why still the power phials tend to be more stronger than the elemental ones. But I can make some following up videos if you want and compare specific switch axes together if you want. So that's with the video. I'm not sure whether I make a third episode or not, so thanks a lot for watching. See you next time, guys.